Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Michael Maney begins now.
Good evening everyone. Anti-salmon groups have leapt on another disturbing revelation around the potential human consumption of diseased Tasmanian salmon. It's also escalated concerns about imported fish and its threat to the state's biosecurity. There are now growing calls for more stringent regulation.
Troubled waters for the salmon industry. Shocking new claims about diseased Tasmanian salmon sold for human consumption.
It's so wrong from the public's right to know that they've been sold infected fish.
The Saturday paper reporting the state government downgraded the bacteria killing the fish from a prohibited matter to a declared animal disease, substantially lowering the obligations of the industry to deal with the outbreak. The downgrade only weeks before a mass die-off, tons of dead fish dumped at a Tasmanian waste facility.
Just goes to show that people should not buy or eat Tasmanian farmed salmon. It's not only an environmental catastrophe, it's a human health issue.
Anti-salmon groups continue to call for increased regulations and greater transparency.
There needs to be an independent inquiry into just that process, as well as the rest of this stinking, rotten industry which is doing Tasmania so much damage.
The Federal Fisheries Minister in the midst of an election pointing the finger at the state.
They are also the tier of government that is responsible for ensuring that food consumed in Tasmania is safe for Tasmanians.
Others say she is not off the hook and remains responsible for large parts of the industry.
We've just seen what a biosecurity disaster for an industry like the salmon industry looks like, which is why I'm baffled that Julie Collins won't stop bringing in Chilean salmon that we don't know meets our standards.
For the importation of this product, and indeed it needs to go through the most stringent biosecurity checks.
The state government reaffirming salmon harvested in Macquarie Harbour is safe for human consumption under food safety standards. Salmon Tasmania declined to comment. Rebecca Gaidaneris at 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, it's been confirmed that the outgoing head of Salmon Tasmania will join opposition leader Dean Winter's office. It was announced late yesterday that Luke Martin will be stepping down from his role as chief advocate for the salmon industry. Martin has previously worked in politics, including for former premiers Jim Bacon and Paul Lennon. He worked for the Tourism Industry Council before joining Salmon Tasmania 2 years ago. Peter Dutton's plan to slash thousands of public sector jobs has drawn ire from Tasmanian Labor and unions. While the Liberals say those cuts will be centred on Canberra, there are concerns the numbers don't add up.
In lockstep, Tasmania's Liberal election team uniting behind native forestry, taking another swing at a perceived split in Labor's logging policy.
They've got candidates that don't actually support the native forestry industry, and that is a massive concern.
This is not a time for people to have uncertainty about industries that employ Tasmanians.
Labor firing back on claims it can't be trusted with the native logging industry.
This is just the Liberal Party trying to run a scare campaign. I was very clear yesterday. We understand, of course, that Australia doesn't have enough timber.
Standing by its track record as a supporter of native forest logging.
We are the ones supporting this industry and the jobs around Tasmania and around the country.
From cutting down trees to cutting jobs. Labor calling for details on Peter Dutton's plan to take an axe to the public service.
It's not okay to just say it won't be you here, it won't be you there. He actually needs to tell people where these jobs are.
We've said that's where we will put our focus, on the Canberra backroom public servants, not on frontline services that Australians rely on.
But Labor claims the numbers don't add up.
We have almost 5,000 federal public servants here in Tasmania, and proportionally that would be close to 1,000 jobs that would need to be cut.
If they cut these 41,000 jobs, will it just have a lot of consultants, a lot of contractors that cost the taxpayer more and get us worse outcomes?
Both parties in support of jobs, but at loggerheads on how to get there.
This is about right-sizing the public service, ensuring that frontline services that Australians rely on are preserved.
These jobs are the jobs that need to be done because of the services that Australians and Tasmanians rely on.
Tom Crosby, 7 Tasmania News.
There's been another online data breach, this time impacting the Tasmanian Gambling Exclusion Scheme. The Treasury Department says the scheme's database was illegally accessed last weekend and that people whose privacy was breached are being contacted. It says the exclusion scheme is operating as usual. The best of the Coal River Valley has been on show at the Crave Harvest Festival in Richmond. Held over 2 days, the event showcases many of the valley's famous wines. It's also an opportunity for visitors to sample goodies from local producers, ranging from cheese to chocolate to cherries. There's also masterclasses in cooking, oyster shucking and permaculture. The festival wraps up later tonight. Hundreds of riders have battled through chilly conditions at this year's Tas Bike Cycle Challenge. The event's helping to get the blood pumping and raising thousands of dollars each year for youth initiatives.
Banding together on their bikes at Baskerville Raceway.
We've got just over 60 junior riders and then over 100 adults, so it's a real mix. It's a real mix of bikes, every different bike I think we'd know about.
Pedal power in full gear for a good cause. The Tasmanian Bike Collective aiming to raise $25,000 for its youth initiatives.
Our programs support vulnerable young people who struggle at school, who face different challenges, whether it's neurodiversities, mental health.
Bikers braving windy conditions around the track and battling steep climbs, attempting to clock as many laps possible in 3 hours.
It's an excellent way to exercise, get the heart rate up and just burn a few calories.
Tiny tackers also hitting the track.
I just really like doing riding, just like feels free.
Local polies also putting their pedal power to the test.
I'm just gasping for breath actually, and just trying to survive the lap and trying to get up the hill, and when you get to the top you're very happy for the downhill pieces. So yeah, no, it's fantastic, it's a lot of fun.
Fantastic out there on the track, such a great energy. It's amazing to see so many people here taking part in a fantastic community event for a great organisation.
Some participants going extra lengths to make a statement, suited up for the occasion. Rebecca Gaidaneris at 7 Tasmania News.
More than 800 people are coming together to walk laps until late tonight for the Relay for Life at St Leonard's Athletic Track. Cancer Council Tasmania this year choosing to trial a 12-hour relay instead of the usual 20 hours.
We found that the community are finding that suits them a little bit better here up in Launceston, and we've had really great numbers.
My oncology team and my surgical team looked after me physically, but there was nothing for my mental health until I was linked in with Cancer Council.
A permanent feature on the track for the event is Matt Gingen, who's running laps for 24 hours in memory of his mother, whom he lost to the disease. Lauderdale has taken out its first round SFL match in a game peppered with angry clashes against Eastern Shore rivals Clarence. The Bombers were first on the board thanks to a strong mark by Jordan Lane. But it wasn't long before tempers started to fray. It wasn't helped by a high tackle from Lauderdale's Mitch Rainbird, which earned him a trip to the tribunal and sent Clarence's Fraser Turner to hospital. But it was the third quarter when it matters, and it really got out of hand.
Does it have the carry? I think it does. It does. It all starts to kick off here as they fly in from everywhere. It's on for young and old here at Lauderdale Oval. We said there was some feeling out there.
Lauderdale eventually taking the points 91-74. And a 6-goal third quarter locked in a win for Glenorchy in the new league's opening match last night. The Magpies held a 24-point lead at half-time, but the post-break onslaught shut out Brighton's hopes of a home ground win. The Robins piled on 5 in the final term but couldn't close the gap, going down by 31 points. Young Tasmanian cricketers aren't letting the cooler weather dampen their interest in the game. Hitting the pitch inside for the indoor cricket state titles, where the best of the south took on the finest from the north. The top players will be selected for a side to enter the national championships.
The boys are flying. They're going really well from the south and the north. It's great to see the huge improvement in their skill level.
I think we're going to again be really amongst it and ruffle a few feathers amongst the bigger states.
The national tournament will take place in Perth, Western Australia in June and July. Hobart-born golfer Simon Hawkes has jumped ahead after round 2 of the Tasmanian Open. Hawkes now with a share of the lead at 6 under with Aaron Pike and William Bryars, while local young gun Mackenzie Thomas is leading the women at 6 over. The tournament sees local amateurs going up against a strong field of interstate pros at Launceston Golf Club. Weather permitting, round 3 will tee off tomorrow. The state's top young motocross riders are powering around Cambridge Ride Park, aiming for a place in the national titles. The state championships has attracted more than 100 competitors, each like 15-year-old Jacob Brewer, with a firm eye on representing the state.
I'll be racing the Junior 250 and the Junior 125 and MX3 class, and I'm hoping to be selected for MX3 in MXGP Darwin.
The top end will be the first time the Women's World Motocross event is held in Australia. And while too young for that, another Tasmanian is aiming to be at least on the race card.
In the MX3, I'm hoping to get selected for the MXGP in Darwin.
The event continues through tomorrow with the day's racing swing into action from 9:30.
Good evening. Hobart and Burnie saw just 15 today. It was 18 in Launceston and 16 in Devonport. St Helens shared the top of 18, Friendly Beaches 17. 16 on the island, Smithton, Low-Haired Grove and Bushy Park all 15. 14 in Strawn and 6 the top in Lyowini. Cloudy conditions covered the majority of Tasmania today as one front moved away to the east, the other approached from the west. We can see a frontal band brushing the east of the island, while another frontal band is building to the south of the Bight. Tomorrow, a cold front will cross the state while a high lies over SA. Northwesterly winds increasing up to 35 knots across most waters. West to southwesterly swells increasing to a staggering 7 metres. A severe weather warning has been issued for the Furneaux Islands, the northeast and central north. We also have a gale warning for coastal waters between Tasman Island to St Helens Point, a strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters and inland lakes. There is also a warning to sheep graziers in the Upper Derwent Valley and also the southeast. A soggy day in the south tomorrow, Hobart 17, 19 in Richmond and 16 the top at Ouse. Wet and windy conditions for Launceston 19, much the same in Devonport 18, 16 and showery also in Deloraine. A high chance of showers and windy conditions towards the west, Strawn and Burnie 17 and 20 at Curry. Showers also to the east, St Helens 20 with winds picking up there, 19 for both Swansea and Whitemark. Showers about the west, south and Bass Strait Islands on Wednesday. Now they're likely to ease and contract to the west and far south during the afternoon. It will be fine on Tuesday apart from light showers about the west. And on Wednesday remaining fine, although those showers in the west continue. Now they'll extend to the northwest ranges in the evening. To capital cities across the country now. 28 and partly cloudy in Brisbane, some showers for Adelaide and Melbourne and a possible storm over Darwin. It's looking a little cloudy across the state. Hobart 13, Launceston and Devonport both 14. I'll see you again tomorrow night, Michael.
Thanks for joining us. Good night.